Okay, here's a quick update on what I've been up to. My 3D printing thing has really caught my attention, so I thought I might try to take my old Muller Dynamo type thing and see if I could do like a 3D printed version of it. And this is where I'm at with the project so far. This rotor that was one of the first 3D prints that I did is perfectly set up for a Muller situation where you have coils on either side of that disc, and they rotate the disc. And on the Muller Dynamo, it had a setup where you had generator coils all around it. So the generator coils were supposed to activate the drive coils if you got everything set up just right, and this and that, whenever it self-ran. In other words, you looped it back into itself. The generator got looped back into the front end, and it was supposed to run itself. Never did. There was always losses to heat and friction and everything else. But it was a fun project. I did a whole series on this years ago, 10 years ago. And this is my old Muller Dynamo. It still works after 10 or 11 years. It's still running. But this is the 3D printed kind of replication of it here. My particular setup runs on 2 Joule thief circuits. And that's how I set this up. It's running on a little button cell battery, 1.5 volt. And what it is it's a pair of Joule thieves, one on each side of that rotor. And then right here is the generator coil. This right here is the generator coil, which is fine wire. It's out of a relay. I think it was a 240 volt AC relay that gives you the generation from the magnets going by. Anyway, that's what I'm up to, but let me kind of show you on this one what's going on here. This is tied into the generator coil, and you can see it's got no voltage on it. But if I spin this up, this little capacitor here will load up from the generator part of it. See that thing loading up? And the idea was there was going to be enough generation from that, and they were supposed to be populated all the way around the rotor, that you would get enough generation to feed back to the front part of the Muller Dynamo to run it. But this was kind of as close as I ever got to this situation. Okay, I just turned it on, and what I did was I put a supercapacitor there and then just tapped it with a battery to load it up with enough voltage. And there's my Muller Dynamo, supposedly self-running. And there's the voltage on the capacitor. And like I say, the way I set this one up, I had a switch here where I could loop it back into the front capacitor. Like I say, it never really worked right, but it was a good demonstration of what they were talking about. It was you could either pull off energy from the generator coil, or you could loop it around to the front end. I just stopped it. I start it up again here. And I did a whole bunch of videos and experiments on that. If you go back in my files about 10 years ago, you'll see a whole bunch of experiments with this Muller Dynamo. But this was the 3D printed kind of thing that I'm about halfway through with this project. I've got to 3D print the other parts, and I may end up with a clear disc on the top like that out of plexiglass so you can see the rotor better. But it's not necessary, but I might do that. But anyway, that's what I've been up to, is this Muller Dynamo thing. On the main rotor, I added a flange to it right here. I haven't got that on this here yet, but this stabilized the rotor so it doesn't wobble quite so much. And on the bottom here, I'm going to run that in that brass rivet. And then at the top, the PLA plastic that the 3D printer prints out with that I'm using is good enough for the top bearing. There's very little friction up there. It runs pretty easy without it. But anyway, this was what I've been up to, or revisiting this Muller Dynamo project. Thanks for watching.